Hey everyone, what's going on? It's 2 Minutes to Review. I'm Matt.
I'm Zach.
And this is a podcast that is part game show, part album review. If you haven't joined us for one of these before, whoever gives the longest review in under 2 minutes of an album wins. What do we win? Well, that's to be determined.
Mostly pride.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's really all we have.
I think we're tied at this point.
Yes.
I might have one more win than you, but we've both tied. And
there's definitely one. You know what's a good way to be able to tell? Listen to past episodes.
There you go.
Now available on Libsyn and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Zach, what are we reviewing this week?
This time we're reviewing the new album from Smashing Pumpkins, Oh Shiny and Oh So Bright. It's a long title, but don't be fooled. It's an 8-song album. It's the first album to feature James Iha and William Chamberlin on the same record of Billy Corgan. And I believe under 20 years. It was produced by Rick Rubin. And it's just because it's one of the greatest alt-rock bands in the 90s. And it's the closest that we're getting to Smashing Pumpkins in this heyday, lineup-wise at least. So figure we'd give it a listen this time.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I kind of kept a very open mind because the Smashing Pumpkins in some of their later works were not exactly my favorite.
Yeah, Melancholy, Infinite Sadness is still such a phenomenal 90s album. But even after that, you have the classic lineup. It was slowly going in a yucky direction, I'd argue. And then the past few years has literally just been the Billy Corgan show.
Are him and Axl like best friends? Kick everybody else out of the band?
And then bring them back in when times are tough? Pretty much.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
It really is the alt-rock version of Guns N' Roses, if you think about it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, I couldn't even tell you, like, how many different lineups have been in Smashing Pumpkins since 2000. So, yeah. You know the rules. Longest review in under 2 minutes. I'm going to raise my hand and say I want to go first.
All right. So, got the stopwatch here. I'm going to count you down. You ready?
1 second. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a
Nicolas Cage.
Now I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So the truth be told, it's really been a long time since I've cared about a new Smashing Pumpkins album. As we mentioned before, there's just been so many different lineups, and it really has just been a glorified Billy Corgan show and solo album that I kind of checked out. And even with James Iha coming back, I wasn't really that interested. But then I heard the first few singles, and I was like, all right, this could be good. So then I listened to the full album, and all said and told, I really am blown away by the record. I actually think it's really good. I know they're trying to capture the Melancholy and Infant Sadness era magic, and it's definitely not on that same caliber, but it really does actually come pretty close. You have some of the ballady songs like Silvery, Sometimes Ghosts, and Alienation that really have the catchiness and the haunting hooks that you'd want to hear from a Smashing Pumpkins album, while Marching On and Seek and You Shall Destroy really have some gritty, angsty riffs. Again, what you'd expect from a Smashing Pumpkins album. So I don't really know how much James Iha infused new energy into the band, but it really is kind of a nice feeling to be excited about new Smashing Pumpkins. So all in all, in closing, I actually really, really enjoyed this record.
All right.
So before I switch it over to you, I know we're trying to do more star rating. So out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 4-star rating.
Wow.
I really was impressed with this record.
Okay.
Which is probably going to surprise some people considering we just spent a good chunk of time bashing the latest carnation of the band. And also, I'm not going to lie to you, it's a really long title. I'm just going to call it Oh So Shiny.
Yeah, the official title of the record is Shiny and Oh So Bright, Volume 1, No Past, No Future, No Sun.
So, real quick little history fun fact. The initial plan was for this to be 2 EPs. Hence the long, crazy title. But then they were kind of talked into just doing a full album, which I think is actually really better. And when you listen to it, it really, I think, isn't much better in the album format. I know I'm going past my time, but a little fun fact. It's supposed to be 2 EPs. We ended up getting one full album, and I think that was for the best.
Okay. Well, I I'm going to go ahead and give my review.
Okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to discuss this probably a little bit further.
Ooh.
You ready?
All right, hold on. Do you want to do any stretches?
I think I'm good enough for what this is going to require.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
So just like with Zach's review, he is clearly a fan of the Smashing Pumpkins. I am a fan of them in the past. If you are not a fan, or if you are looking to become a fan of the Smashing Pumpkins now, this record will not make you a fan. I believe from what I'm hearing that this is just simply to cash in on the name of Smashing Pumpkins. It's really not an album that was designed to be an album to capture new fans, but rather to bring in fans from the bygone era, want to relive mid-90s Smashing Pumpkins melancholy. And it really just sounds very uninspired vocally. It sounds very simplistic from a drumming standpoint. When you go back and listen to Jimmy Chamberlin on some of the other Smashing Pumpkin albums, there's just no drive in it. There's no trub rock. There's nothing that kind of puts that oomph anywhere in here. It really sounds like if Oasis and Coldplay met Zwan. That's what this sounds like to me. Solara, it sounds like in the verse, like they're trying to be like a Cars song almost. This song really and Time Marching On really only sounds like the songs that he's putting any effort into. And anytime that they really take a chance on a song, it really it's just so short-lived that you can't enjoy it. It's like the two shortest songs for Marching On and Seek and You Shall Destroy. And keep in mind, you're paying $10 for 8 songs in 31 minutes. Done.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. So you're right. We are going to talk about this a little bit more.
We have to.
And even before we reveal the times. But first, I feel like I kind of already know, but what's the star rating you're giving?
Okay. It's musical. It's got melodies. It's got riffs. It's got discernible lyrics. So I don't feel like 0 stars is good.
So hold on. First off, wow, that's really harsh. But at the same time, given the shirts that Billy Corgan always wore, 0 would actually be kind of fitting.
It would. And he's too good for that. But oh my God. And then the artwork that they use to promote this on, what is it? I think Spotify or on iTunes. I forget which one it is. But it's him with that ridiculous makeup and the 0 on his
the
shirt.
promo shirt. Yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
The promo shots.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's weird.
I'm going to give this one a 1.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
So to recap, and this is kind of why such a format is interesting. You got 2 very different reviews. The right review. No, I gave a 4. Actually, it's funny. I think, did I say William Chamberlin?
Yes.
Jeez. All right. Jimmy Chamberlin. Wow. So maybe take my review with a grain of salt. I'm just going to be honest.
I thought I got his name wrong, but I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I wrote it down yesterday.
You got it right. I gave a 4-star review.
Yes.
But you gave a 1.5 star review.
1.5.
So I'll agree to a certain degree that I definitely don't necessarily think James Iha or even Jimmy Chamberlin added anything totally different. I still thought maybe I went in with such huge low expectations, but I thought there was a lot more inspiration in these songs than I've heard from the band in many, many years.
Okay, so when I listened to this, I went in with no expectation because I gave the last couple of records that Corgan released under the name Smashing Pumpkins a quick listen, and they were really like nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
But with everything that came into this, like we talked about in the beginning, you brought in James Iha, Jimmy Chamberlin. You got me saying William now. Jimmy
William
Jr. But yeah, with Jimmy Chamberlin coming back, you are trying to have this pseudo Guns N' Roses moment and put together something that is going to be amazing. People are going to go see the shows because it's almost the entire lineup of the Smashing Pumpkins again. But as far as new records go, maybe this is why Guns N' Roses has been so hesitant to release new music, because we're capturing everything that people have ever wanted on stage. If we release anything new, unless it's almost perfect, it's going to fall short of people's expectations. So with this, it's like, you did all the work, you put all the people back together, you put them in a studio, and then you put out Pleh.
I kind of disagree. I mean, I will give you that also. Jimmy, he is a phenomenal drummer, and it definitely isn't, the drumming is definitely not a standout on these songs, but I'll go back to a song like Alienation. I actually thought the hooks and the rhythms were just really strong, and I wasn't expecting, especially because this is the first single, which I'm going to butcher the name of, Solara. I wasn't impressed with that single at first. It grew on me, but I wasn't impressed with that. It wasn't until I heard Silvery Sometimes where I was like, oh wow, this has a lot of potential, and it felt there's just a sense of catchiness to it that I still find myself going back and humming along to the song even when I'm not listening to it on an iPod. I don't know why. I actually thought that the writing was a lot stronger. And even some of the guitar work, there's still, now that you mentioned the Cars aspect, I kind of hear a little bit of the hooks, but it was still, I actually was really impressed with how refreshing it sounded.
And see, to me, it was playing it way too safe. Like I said, toward the end, the two shortest songs on the album, Marching On and Seeking You Shall Destroy, are like, they're the shortest and they take the most chance. Everything else, it sounds like it's the same. It's like all the same level. It's all the same tempo. There's nothing that really changes. There's not very many different ideas that are introduced here. I listen to some mellow stuff, but when I listen to it, like, you can clearly tell that there's, changes in the melodies. There's changes in the timings. There's change that happens all the time. This is just static, and it's, in my mind, it's forgettable. There's nothing that makes me ever want to listen to this again.
See, and I'm the exact opposite. There's a lot there. I was like, I want to hear this again. It was a lot more memorable than I thought it was going to be. But you know what? It doesn't, none of this matters.
But none of it matters. But I will say one last thing before we give the times.
Okay.
And I said this at the very beginning, if you are a big fan of the Smashing Pumpkins, you might like this. If you are trying to become a fan of the Smashing Pumpkins because of this, it won't happen. And this argument is case in point.
Fair.
All right, let's get.
But like I said, none of that actually matters.
That's not the point.
Here's the point. The scores. All right. Since I went first, Matt, what is my score? Drum roll.
You did under 2 minutes.
Yeah. All right. That's a plus.
That's a start. 1 minute. 19:16.
Ooh. All right.
1
minute 19. Matt, your score for a review where you gave 1.5 stars.
Yep.
Curious why the half star.
Because I feel 2 is too much.
But you feel 1 is not enough? I digress. Anyway, you also were under 2 minutes.
All right.
Drum roll, please.
What do we got?
You have to do the drum roll this time.
I'm trying to.
Well,
there we go.
You had 1 minute and 37 seconds.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Matt. He won this round.
I get the chicken dinner.
Wait, there's chicken here? You've been holding out on me?
I thought that's what the prize was.
Oh, man, I really need to read the fine print. Do I have to provide the chicken? And we'll figure that out after the episode. But thanks for listening. And if you like this episode, let us know what you thought on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @Epic Footnote. Love to hear from you. And until next time.
See you later, guys.